Hello my marvellous sausages. Now, I don't usually like to start a video on a bit of a downer, but Destiny 2's seasonal model has been feeling, well, a little stale for a while now, wouldn't you agree? Even though the seasons this year have had some great aesthetics, like the pirates and the westerns and the ghostly things, we all knew exactly how it was going to unfold. We were going to upgrade a vendor doodah, collect a seasonal currency, new weekly mission, and a team activity, and that's kind of how it went for the whole year. Well, the Destiny 2 game director, Joe Blackburn, has outlined changes coming to the seasons, and quite frankly, they're pretty good. Actually, I quite like the look of them. So let's have a little look at both these seasons, because we've had some information released about both of them, about how the game is going to be changing, starting with Season of the Defiance. Umbral engrams are being completely binned. I'd just like to point out that I predicted this over a year ago, so blind luck is still a presence in my life. Nice. And also the Umbral energies are being dumped too. This is an excellent thing because I hated farming for these things. There's not so much to the engrams because they drop pretty frequently, don't they? The Umbrals, whenever you were doing your Guardian thing. But the energies were a huge pain in the rear end to do. And at this stage in the year, you know, we're coming right to the end of it and we've got Lightfall just around the corner. I don't want to go back and do Season of the Haunted stuff because I was pretty bored doing it when it came out. And even if you want to unlock guns, you have to go and farm these energies, which means mainly doing those old seasonal activities. And they were also really tight as well with some of them. This season's Seraphic energy was, well, it was ridiculous. We were only having like 5 or 6 or 1 or 2 at a time. And I always feel I'm just falling short and it just feels too restrictive and, well, a bit boring, really. So I'm really glad these things are going. In future seasons, all you're going to need is the vendor engram and some glimmer. Simple and very user-friendly. Plus, the vendor engrams will be stored with the vendor, like they are with Shaxx or the Drifter, and they'll no longer clutter up our engram shopping bag. Thank God for that. Now, the next thing on the chopping block is the seasonal currencies. So that's the stuff like the Seraph key cards or the Vestiges of Dread from Season of Haunted. Instead, we're going to be earning a singular key that will drop through our playtime. So in normal playlist activities and also in the seasonal activities too, these keys will be used to open bonus seasonal chests at the end of the seasonal activities. So you know if you have one of these keys, you're going to be getting some more goodies. And talking of the goodies, because these keys will drop less frequently, Bungie are making the base rewards for each seasonal activity better. So when you spend your key, you know you're getting some nice juicy stuff. Now, looking at vendors and the seasonal upgrades we have with the vendors, in Season of the Defiance, that's the next one coming, they're going to be reducing the amount of vendor upgrades there and making the ones that are there more potent, and some upgrades will even change how you interact with the seasonal activities, maybe a bit more like modifiers. As well as this, they're also changing the way in which they name the various progression systems, so we know at a glance what they're for. Personally, I think they should give them all names like Bob or Tina, and then we can earn 10 Bob during an activity. Please note that this joke is awful and requires you to be ancient like me and British like me to get it. And even then, it's just not worth it anyway, so just forget about this bit. Now, Season of the Deep, which seems to be arriving around June time if I've worked that out correctly. And this season is starting to have some big changes to how everything is going to unfold, because there's going to be no vendor upgrade tree in Season of the Deep, which is very intriguing. Now, it doesn't mean that vendor upgrades are going away forever, but the season will feel very different to what we're used to. You see, it's been a good part of the grind upgrading the vendor skill tree, but I'm glad it's taking a backseat, and I'm really interested to see what they're going to come up with to replace that element of the seasonal chase. They do say, though, that they want to eventually create like a wide array of different systems to show our investment into the seasonal content. So not just upgrading a tree, maybe common systems that are there for every season and don't require this same grindy path to follow. But as for the content itself, they also want more fresh activities. For example, like we had the Shattered Realm, which kind of evolved and changed that space each week. And that was pretty good. I did enjoy that. or like when they brought Battlegrounds into the fray, which was basically a brand new activity, which now does seem to be a bit of a mainstay as well. So this is good. It looks like staleness is on its way out the front door. One of the things that bothered me last season, or indeed last year in its entirety, was the fact that we had no information drop about each season when it was released. We had no idea what was going to come. We had a trailer drop on the day that the season came out, and so there was no lead time, there was no excitement or hype, and in the back of your mind it makes you wonder whether or not they were happy with the season that they were putting out. In the end they were fine, you know, really, but it was just... we needed some hype. The hype machine is what the Destiny community thrives on. And speaking as a content creator, it was right nightmare going, I don't know what to say, because there's nothing to say. Here we are. Look at this old weapon from 6 seasons ago that we can make a video about. So to combat that, they've said basically that there's not going to be as much secrecy going forward, which is a brilliant thing, I think. So we already know stuff about Season of the Deep. We already know some stuff about Season of the Defiance, which is great. We've even had a bit of artwork about Season of the Defiance as well, which is here on the screen. And bloody lovely it looks too. It's got something to do with Marasov, and, well, I'm just generally excited. What is that in the background? Is that the EDZ, or is that the Dreaming City, or is it a new location? Maybe an Arboretum on Neptune? Who knows? But this is exactly what I mean. So the hype is going to be coming back to the seasons. They did say this is not going to happen with all seasons, but fair enough. If a season has got a massive story beat, which has got something to do with the main arc and thrust of the storyline, then that's fine keeping it under wraps. That's great. No problem at all. It just gets us a bit more excited when there is stuff to know about. So those are the changes that they've outlined so far, but it seems that we're going to be having lots more information coming before Lightfall. They're starting to open up the beautiful petals of Destiny information. That is excellent. I've even heard rumour that there's a Lightfall Vidoc possibly dropping, but I'm not too sure on that. We'll just have to see if that happens and when. Let me know what you think of these new seasonal changes. Do you think it's going to make it a lot easier, or do you think it's going to make it a lot better, or do you think it's going to make it a lot worse and a lot harder, or a mixture of all four? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to know when I've got some more videos popping out about Lightfall, Destiny 2, or indeed anything at all, then don't forget, give me a like and a subscribe, and hit the old notification ding dong so you know when I splap one out. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all again very soon indeed. So, Sarge, what?